Hey guys, Martial Arts Militia here. My name is Matthew. In today's video is going to be a range report on the Charter Arms Undercover. Now I do have to apologize. I'm sure you guys have noticed that I have disappeared for the last 2 to 3 weeks. I know the last video was supposed to be, I think, Goemon's Successor of New Generation, and that was okay. I was playing it, but then I stopped playing. I was recording and I was playing it, and I was like, oh, I don't feel like playing anymore. So I stopped that, and so I don't know. I guess I just don't feel like I don't feel like playing games in general, but then I also don't feel like playing games for content either. I mean, my reactions are real and stuff, but I was just like, I don't know. I just don't feel like doing that anymore. So that's gonna be awkward. I know you guys will be down a video, so it's gonna be 3 videos a month rather than 4. And I don't know, maybe it's from work. I do have 64 clients right now for case management. We're short 3 people, so I think all of us are pretty much at 60, except for the new girls. They were at 60 for a while, but then I think they're being brought down to 50, 40, kind of normal. But for us that have been there for a year and more, you know, we're stuck at 64. And so my hours have been like 52 hours minimum a week, but easily sometimes up to 62. So maybe that's why I don't know, I was burnt out. You know, I feel like I didn't want to be like having to act like somebody, you know how it is for a camera, you have to act it up a little bit. I just didn't feel like doing that, so I apologize. I know you guys are out like 3 videos. Yeah, it's been pretty bad. I'm so sorry. But yes, you know, that's just on me, so I don't blame anyone but me. So as you guys know, with the Charter Undercover, this is the vintage version. So you know, Charter Arms has had different style. This is the old style. It doesn't have a ejector rod shroud. And there have been many iterations. You know, they had like their first one, then they come out with this one, which is it's a Bridgeport, Connecticut is the marking on it. And then of course they had like the Charter 2000, which is like considered the worst version of it. So people try to stay away from that, and I stayed away from that too when I bought this guy. And then now they have their new ones, which they have a ejector rod shroud on it. They're all like that. They don't make it like this anymore. We took this to range before. It was supposed to be done a long time ago, but then it failed badly on the Rock Island Armory's 38 Special 158 grain, whereas the Model 10, the Smith & Wesson Model 10, Model 36 had no hiccups, maybe one hiccup, one failure to fire, and then they fired on the second time. So basically little to no problems. And my suspicion was that I think Charter, when they went back the 3rd time, so the story is I bought this gun and I dry fired it with snap caps, and the reason why is because I like to make my hand get used to the gun, and I did that about 500 times, and then the gun broke, or I think the trigger return spring broke. So then I had to go send it to Charter, and I asked him, hey, can I dry fire this gun, because you know it broke after 500, you know, and we've seen other examples like the Taurus M380, the Smith Bodyguard. I think those went through like 1,300 or 3,000, I'm guessing. Dry fire is no problem, you know. So 500 is a very low number for it to break. And I sent the repair form in, I asked them that question, they sent it back, and when they fixed it, it didn't say anything. It didn't say anything about it. I was like, okay, whatever. I dry fired it again with the snap caps, it breaks again around the same time, 500. So I send it back again, I asked them the question. And then they fix it, they send it back. They didn't answer the question, so I had to literally call into them to ask them, hey, this is the 2nd time I asked you guys, can you dry fire this gun with snap caps? And the engineer was like, yeah, it was. Okay, you could have told me that the 1st time, but whatever. So then I dry fired again, and it broke again around the same time, 500 dry fires. So 3 times it breaks. So I'm not believing that it's okay to dry fire with it. But this time they said, because you know they've seen me too many times now, they actually went into a deep dive, and they said something about the hammer when it falls is hitting it at an odd angle and it's causing it to break early, I guess. Now that I think about it, I don't know if it's a trigger return spring or something in here, like the actual, like, you know, that transfer bar. I don't know if that's what's breaking inside, but they actually went in there, you know, kind of a really deep dive, deep search, and they said the angling was incorrect, so they fixed that. So this time I shoot the 500 dry fires, the snap caps, and it doesn't break. So I'm under the impression that, okay, they actually did fix it. And so the next time after that, I went to the range and I shot it, and you guys saw that it completely choked up on the Rock Island Armory ammunition. So my suspicion was, okay, it could be the ammunition or it could be the gun. And I thought it was the ammunition, but then remember that Smith & Wesson Model 10 went through all of it, no problem. And then also the Model 36 went through all of it, no problem. So then I switched from, no, it's not the ammo, it's the gun, you know. So something about it, I assumed that whether they did or did not fix it, I don't know, but maybe they lessened the spring tension for the hammer, so it's not hitting it as hard, and then you're getting failures to fire, things like that, and maybe even bullet jumping, which I didn't see any bullet jump with the RIA ammunition with the Model 10 and Model 36, but for some reason it jumped a lot in this one and locked the gun up. So at this point, all I could do was like, well, okay, well, we're not going to use Rock Island Armory ammunition. We're going to use something else, and I ended up doing the MagTech. I kind of got a nice deal on those, 158 grain FMJ MagTech. So I thought, okay, we're going to do that. Of course, I got to bring out another gun in case this one locks up again, and I chose the Cult Official Police. You guys have seen me show this gun, talk about it. Never shot it, of course, like everything in my collection. But I just thought that, you know, if the gun locks up, again, with the MagTech, I highly doubt cold quality would lock up. You know, I just feel like it's a lot better. Even though I probably should have gone with something more of the Smith, because remember, when the bullet jumps, it locks up guns that turn clockwise, but it can't lock up guns turning counterclockwise. So I probably should have brought a Smith, but I wanted to shoot something different since I don't have any other 38s. Besides those Smiths, you know, I just had this Colt. So, and I had full faith and confidence that Colt is a high enough quality that it wouldn't, you know, be subject to little things like that. So for the range, I took 218 rounds of MagTech ammunition, 38 special 158 grain FMJ. I had the Charter Undercover, and of course the Cult Official Police, those two. Now for speed loaders, I just brought the Model 10. I brought the K-frame speed loaders, and the reason why is because these work perfectly in the Cult Official Police, which is an E-frame. Now there's an I-frame, but that's just the firing pin on the hammer rather than the inside the frame. So it's basically the same thing. But E and I frame, they can use the K frames no problem. And I can prove that here. So we've got our Cult Official Police. It's unloaded. We're gonna put the fake bullets in here. So this is the Model 10 HKS speed loader, and it fits perfectly just like that. Okay, so I call that perfect fit because, you know, you don't have to angle it or do funny things. It just fits, and then you can twist it, you drop it, and you're good to go, right? So that's the HKS, and it works also with the Safari Land. I don't remember if this is the K-frame. I think it is. It's the K-frame version of the Safari Land speed loader, and instead of a knob twist, that's more of a push in. And it will release the rounds, so please bear with me. I'm going to show you how that works too. And of course, little brother Natty's idea, never spent a day in martial arts, just push up on it, turn. I was sitting here trying to, you know, follow the instructions for this, but little brother Natty has a better idea. So once again, this fits perfectly. You can see there. Now, you know, it's not as close because you have to push it in, but once I push it in, all the rounds drop. Once again, perfect fit. Now, from the last video I did on Smith & Wesson Model 36, the K-frames work just fine on that. This is the HKS speed loader, Model 36, so the J-frame for Smith & Wesson. This worked fine on the Model 36. This does not work on the Charter. And the reason why is because the grip here is too fat. So if they thin this out, I think it would work. But it's too fat that it prevents it from going in. So I'm stuck there, you know? So if Charter shaved this down a little bit, it would probably fit actually, and that'd be really good for them. But that it doesn't fit. Now, yes, you can make it. If you're at an angle, you can make it work. But we're talking like super fine gross function, which is super fine motor function, which you don't want in martial arts. You don't want fine motor function because it depends on too much, you know. Your adrenaline's running, everything is, you know, your hands are not still. It's not good. You want to have gross motor function as much as possible rather than fine motor function. So I didn't even bother bringing the 5-shot speed loaders, just the 6-shot for the Cult Official Police. So we got our ammo, we got our guns. I shot 7 yards at the tombstone target, so this is the one that we used last time that I'm pretty fond of. It's a much sturdy target. The only thing is that you only get one target here, so that kind of sucks. So I just use a shooting suit and I just put a sticker up here, so I have 2 places to shoot at. Shot at 7 yards, typical kind of thing. I ended up shooting 188 rounds. And the reason why was I ran out of time. It's only half an hour I pay for, and I forgot to shoot the rounds in the 6-shot speed loaders. I had 5 of them. So I have I think 3 of these, and then 2 of the Safariland. So they all had ammo in there. So that would have blocked out 6.530 rounds, yeah. So I forgot about them, and I ran out of time anyway, so it wouldn't really matter. Now there were 4 dud rounds throughout the experience, and the Undercover could not light them up no matter what. I mean, I tried to shoot the same one 2 to 3 times. Don't do that, I'm just being an idiot. But it just never went off no matter what. So the Charter could not do it, but the Colt Fisher Police could do it. So at the end, I took those 4 rounds and I said, okay, well the Charter just completely fails to light them off. Let me see if I can do it in the Colt Fisher Police, and it did do it. 2 of them it did right away, but it had to be single action, and then the other 2 just went off in double action. So Colt could take out the rounds that the Charter Artems could not. Throughout the range, there was some skin tear on the upper right palm of my shooting hand, but it's pretty much gone now. There was some tear there, not that big of a deal. And then my shooting finger on the lower part also had some tear, but that's pretty much healed by now. Some callus skin, I would say. Now, a lot of the shots go left, I was speaking to Range Officer Don. He's the range officer there. We're good friends. He was saying that, okay, well, yes, we are taught to put the trigger right in the middle of your trigger finger, but when you go to J-frame, so a really small gun, sometimes some guys will put it all the way closer to the crease here to get more leverage. And so he thought I was right-handed, so he thought, okay, so I think he thought it was either too far out or too far in, because he's thinking right-handed, right? And so he's like, okay, if you put the finger here, then it would pull the shot this way, right? Pull left if I'm not in the middle of the pad. But if I'm doing it this way, then he's thinking, oh, you're not getting close enough to the crease of the pad because it's going left, right? So that was pretty nice conversation. He said that even though, yes, we are taught traditionally, and most of our masters will say, try to keep it in the middle, he's like, it really depends. If you've got a nice full-sized gun, then yeah, you can probably get that middle pad just fine. But as you go smaller and smaller, it's simply not likely. You may have to kind of push a little bit more closer to that first crease in the finger. So that was a good thing to know. I think that shows, a much different mastery on J-frames. And I am of the opinion that the J-frame, tiny guns like this, you are walking into more CIA kind of better times, Secret Service kind of a skill set, something to where you're not going to shoot that often for mastery, because you're not expected to shoot that often, like CIA, Secret Service, they don't expect to get into combat as often. So they have, I guess, the luxury of making sure every shot counts. And they have to, because you're going to be injured from it. You're going to be in the training phase of it for so long, they can't just afford to have bad shots, you know what I mean? So that's kind of my understanding of the J-frame, is this is really like a Secret Service, CIA, high level kind of a gun. Which is fine if you can do it, it's no problem. It's just, I think for me as a normal person, that's not an investment I'd be into, like the Diamondback DB9. Yeah, that tore off a lot of skin on me. So yeah, many shots go left. So I think for me, I'm gonna have to think about kind of, because he's right. I remember that where I was like, I can't really get, I can't get where I want to get unless I push my finger a little closer to the crease. Then it's easier for me to kind of get what I want. If I try to stay in the middle, after the first shot, because of how light it is, it's gonna jump, and then my finger's already changing. You probably see that in the range footage where it's like, okay, I have to reset my finger, after every shot, which is, it's not good, but honestly, for a gun that's not expected to see combat, it's probably not a big deal. I did have to eventually go to single action just because, like, I don't know why, but it was like something, I guess my finger staying in the guard the whole time was something was hitting it. But for some reason, if I went to essay, then it wasn't as bad. So that I ended up doing a lot of shots there. I think as a result, I did 136 shots in double action and then 48 shots in single action. And then of course those 4 unreliable rounds had to go through the cult. So I'll show you up here. I probably should have shown you this. Yeah, so many shots go left. As you can see there, that's very, very bad in my opinion. And then with the top target, this is actually the single action. So this is where I did all my essay shots, which are a lot better. A little high though. And then the last 4 bullets, the stubborn ones, I had nothing to shoot at, so I had no idea what to aim at, but those are where the 4 ended up. So that was my experience with the Charter Arms Undercover. Of course, it's the vintage version. You know, if you buy the modern ones, probably get a completely different result. I think the J-frame is something that's outside of my martial arts skill set. I really don't think that I'm ready for that. Maybe I will someday, but you know, with much better options like the Smith Bodyguard or the Taurus 380, you know, it just really doesn't make sense to have the 38 Special down here. You know, I don't mind like a full service gun, like a 4-inch gun. That makes sense to me, you know. But man, the level of skill set you have to have for the compact guns it's far out there. I think it might be worth it if you want to be like CIA, but for everybody else, probably not so much. As usual, I'll roll the range footage here for you guys at the end, and I do have to tell you some pretty bad news. And what that is that I think I'm going to stop doing YouTube at a much slower rate. So what I mean by that is, you know, I just want to revamp stuff. I want to revamp the whole thing. You know, obviously I don't want to play games anymore, and I don't mind the martial arts and stuff, but I just can't commit to it in a way where I can give my best work, you know? It just seems like I'm putting out work to meet the schedule, but it's not my best work, and I'm not happy with that. So I'm not guaranteeing you like 1 video a month either, you know? I'm just saying that like, it's very difficult to keep a 55-hour-week job and do YouTube at the same time. You know, I think when I didn't have 64 clients, it was okay, but now with 64, I really can't. You know, it's just too much to think about, too much to do, and then sometimes I just feel empty too, where it's like, okay, we had the holidays, you know, Thanksgiving and Christmas, and it was like, I'd rather work. I'd rather work because there's plenty of work that I can catch up on. I literally go to work 1 hour early just to do yesterday's work. And then I complete today's work, and then I have to wait until I wake up in the morning next day just to finish yesterday's work. That's what it feels like. I'm just barely catching up to yesterday's work. And you know, I'm sure my mental health is not at its best. And I'm not able to, you know, think of things and complete things, and then the motivation, like my motivation is dead, you know. Come back from work, 52 hours a week, the last thing I want to do is YouTube. As much as I love you guys, it's like the last thing I want to do, you know. I want to relax somehow, I don't know. I don't think I know how to relax, but I need to relax and chill out. So, you're not going to get a video next week. I promise you're not going to get a video next week, and possibly even 2 weeks after this. I just literally, honestly, have no idea. You know, I want to take my time to make good videos, but I also don't want to lose my job. And so, you know, the job is the priority, and then YouTube is kind of like the next thing, if I have time or energy for it. So, you know, it's up to you. You guys, you can take your subscriptions away. You know, it's your choice, or you can leave it there. I don't know. I just can't promise you when the next video is going to be. I'd be surprised if I got it within 4 weeks, but I basically just want to do a really good job. So, sorry you had to hear that. This video will be up on 27th, 25th, 28th. Yeah, it'll be up before Christmas, so you guys have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I'll see you sometime later rather than sooner in the future, okay? Hope you guys enjoy the video. You can please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time, okay? Bye now.
You learned martial arts! Martial arts, good!